Okay, welcome back to my channel, everybody. For today's video, we are doing a 12 by 12 scrapbooking layout using the Coco Dasiy Silent Moon collection. I recently did an unboxing for this kit, and today is our first layout. So I had so many ways to go, and don't get me wrong, all the papers are beautiful. So actually, let's take away, because you get two of everything, if you recall, when I did the unboxing. And for me, sometimes too, you know, using some of these as straight background papers is wonderful. And if you can pull it off creatively, by all means, fantastic. But sometimes, you know, I'm sure some people look at these and say, I don't know how to work with it. So my rule of thumb is usually for something like this is if I want to show them all off, I need to make it less intimidating, kind of like doing mixed media. Like if I did a whole mixed media and this is what I ended up with, this can sometimes be intimidating to work with. But if you cut out a repeating shape in said pattern paper or mixed media page that you do, it becomes a little bit smaller and workable, and then you can put it on just say white cardstock or black cardstock. So that is the avenue I'm taking, is with these nested dies of hexagons. We're going to cut a hexagon out of each of them and configure them. Since they're all going to be hexagons, I'll probably stay with the same size. That way you can make a pattern, you know, with 3 or 4 going across and then maybe 1 or 2 over here, and then have white negative space behind it, which would make your layout work. So it's always just a tip in case you ever have a completely, you know, bold pattern paper set that seems a little hard to use. Either, and if you have circle punches, it works out the same. I've done that where I did, you know, a few different size circle punches, and you can scatter them like confetti or have them layered, pop some up on some fun foam, and really get to see all the beautiful patterns in that collection. And so that's the avenue I am taking, because I definitely love this, you know, and I definitely love this one. This one is the pretty side. This one I can do both, but I like kind of like the purple. This one is a must, and this is a must too, but I like that side too. So if we need a dark anchor, this one's good. So that is what we're gonna do. We're gonna cut out a bunch of hexagons from these, and then my photos are actually 4x4 prints from my Persnickety box. These were all from the night me and my sister went to go see Beyonce in Miami. So these two are gonna be cut into hexagons. Now this hexagon set is from scrapbook.com. I did haul it. It is new. I don't think I've used it at all because it still seems to be in perfect condition without getting any you know, warpness from my manual die cutting machine. So when I'm looking at my photos, they're not labeled with like the marking on like this is the 4-inch one and this is the 3-inch. So you just kind of have to take them off, and they are on tight. Okay. And then, you know, see where you're at. And so let's see if I can go one more bigger and not go off of the mat. See, you know, and this one doesn't work because you can see it goes off the 4x4, and granted only because I printed these with the border. So if you didn't print yours with the border, this size would be perfect, but because I did, this one seems to be the one I have to do, which is fine. That works for that. It'll work for that. Yeah, I have to just go higher. It'll work for that. And then, yeah, definitely that one. All right, so that one will be to cut out all of this. And then, so this is the one bigger. So I will use the one size bigger, or maybe even 2 sizes bigger. Let's see how much of a border that would give. Because that way I can mat them, is where I'm going with. So yeah, I'll do the 2 size bigger for 4 of these pattern papers. So we'll use like, say, 1, 2, 3... 4, and mat my photos with them, and then, and that'll be the inside, and then have 3 with this size, and then get a smaller guy and do that way I can have some layering. So 2 smaller would be around here, you know, and that way I can have some layers and have them honeycomb off of it. So that way that'll be one size, and you can see how they, oh, but these will be in there, and they will layer. You see that perfectly with each other. So I like the size variation. All right, so that way I can have like a cluster here, maybe do 2 of this one, and you'll put another one in here. And then I'll take 2 more of the photos here and here or something. That's the game plan. So let's get my little cutting machines out. Let's cut the photos, let's cut the pattern paper, and then we'll use all the embellishments in the kit to jazz it up. Let's get started. So let's get started. So I have bought a few collections of nested dies, and I need to start using them a little bit more, because even with this, I feel like in the future I should do like a little mini album that would be like on a binder ring that's shaped like a hexagon. Would use these again, and that would be pretty awesome. So I actually have bought new cutting plates, because the old ones, my other set, I've had truly since the day I've had this cutting machine, which would probably be a good 6-7 years old. And so anytime I use the old ones, the impressions of all the cut lines and everything else, when I'm cutting a photo, the impressions always scuff up the photo paper really bad. And I hate that look. So I got new plates. And so the new plates I'm only using to cut out photos right now, and kind of use the dodgy ones for all of the other die cutting, because why not? That way the photos don't get kind of, you know, the impression of it. It's kind of like they become almost like embossing folders when you cut photos. And I've tried to do the whole thing where I put it like sandwiched between some cardstock. It doesn't help. They still get indented, the luster leaves, all that thing. So this was me kind of rectifying that. And they were only like $15, $17, I think, on Amazon when I purchased them a few months ago. So when you're using a manual die cut, and I do feel, don't get me wrong, like I love my little cutter bug, this one that it is. But I kind of feel like I'm going to break down maybe in a couple months, because I'm trying to do a no-buy and get like a big shot or something that just has a longer like platform or like space for the boards to be, because I'll be honest, like the amount of effort it is to get this to catch sometimes, it's a struggle, and it's just a struggle. So I just don't feel like, maybe sometimes I don't use enough of my dies in my embossing folders, because this little machine may be too little. I mean, it still gets the job done. I mean, while I only make, you know, a few layouts with dies, you can just tell me, Ty, stop being a baby and just use this one. So it was a labor of love to get all these hexagons cut out, but the full effect when the layout is complete is fantastic. So the effort is always worth it. So as I arrange the photos, I just want to make sure that I have like not too much of a dark photo with the dark background. So if it was a lighter photo, in essence, I wanted it on a darker background. That didn't always stay the rule, but it worked out fine. So I'm taking some of my fun foam that has adhesive on one side and adhering it to all my photos, so there is a creation of dimension on my layout. And I'm arranging it so that at least I have like I have 2 photos single with just me, and then 2 photos with my sister. So I just made sure I alternated, that the 2 with my sister aren't like touching or adjacent to each other. So that worked out to give it just nice, in my eyes, just nice balance. So when I also cut out enough, I knew I wanted one of the hexagons to be the title location, and then the other ones were always just going to be more decorative, so that you can see the beautiful kind of like flower elements, or I would almost call it like galaxy looking sky, starry sky elements to this collection as well. Truly the paper colors are really pretty. Are really pretty. So once I'm comfortable with that layout, you see me just adhering it all with my ATG gun, and I do love the way everything looks like at this point. And so I'm definitely just committing, as we say, committing to what the layout is. And then I did a few of the smaller ones just so that I can almost have them as embellishments, so that there was a little bit more of a cluster and some of that negative space. What I'm learning to realize about my style, and when I'm scrapbooking a little bit, is that, don't get me wrong, when I have all the things and all the things, I want to use all the things. And sometimes I realize that in design wise, having white space, which is the point of this topic right now, or I guess I'm saying, is that I've learned to embrace starting off on white cardstock. Usually in the past, I would say I never would start off on white cardstock. I would use another pattern paper and have all of this on it, which makes it quite busy. But I've come to understand too that when you start off on a white background and you have like cutout elements, like I said, is a good way to start when you're having a very bold pattern paper. It's just a good way to start, because for me, I feel like we're showcasing a collection off. So that way you get a little bit of what the entire collection looks like rather than just focusing on one. But don't get me wrong, focusing on one is also beautiful in itself. But like I said, I think it's always a good tangent to start on white cardstock, and that way everything will pop off of it. So I used the Puffy Alphas in the set to write Sister, and then I used the Fun Foam title piece Memories from the collection. So it's Sister Memories, and then I'm just using a little bit of everything. So you see some of the chipboard elements, some of the die cuts. Here I am taking out some of the rub-ons as well. And it also came with those wood veneer stars that you will see me scatter about 3 for that visual triangle. Love everything on how this has turned out. I think I always use a little bit, sets of 3. So I think I do 3 rub-ons, 3 wood veneers, 3 die cuts, 3 stars. That way it all has balance and always has you travel around it. Even though you're looking at hexagon shapes, the visual triangle is there. What I also look into, now that I have all my ink sprays and stuff over my desk in little shelves, I do take the time to take, I want to say it's from Shimmers, Deep Blue, and what is it, Jenny B Blue. I do some ink splatters after I do all of these enamel dots, and these enamel dots are beautiful. If you remember on my unboxing, they are like great shades of blue, and they're full of sparkle. So pretty. So here I am with getting the 2 shimmer colors right there. So, and don't get me wrong, I haven't used these in a while, and they got my hands so dirty, but I needed some navy and blue splatters because that was what it was calling for. Okay, now this needs to dry. Look how cute that is with the hexagons. And look at, just using those inks alone gets you all fuzzy up. So love how it turned out. Love the splatter to pull out the blues and the navies and the purples. I think I used every single kind of bit that came in the kit, which is actually always a good thing, so that I can show you how to use the elements. The wood veneer, the ephemera, the enamel dots, the chipboard pieces, the foam thickers, and the alphas all got utilized here. This is fantastic. All right, this will dry. I will leave the link to this kit down below for you. Thank you so much for joining me. Please subscribe if you are new here, and give this video a thumbs up. It always helps my channel. Till next time, everyone. Bye.